Well, here we have it. The incredible scenery, the iconic Villarreal that plays host to this round of the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour. The lanes are very narrow, the walls are very close, and the stakes are incredibly high, particularly for Santi Urrutia, who's had a blindingly good start to his season, and he is 6 points ahead of Mikel Ascona. But here we are in Villarreal. We've had free practice 1, free practice 2, and it's this gentleman here, the reigning champion, Jan Erlache, who was just 2/10 off the quali record in free practice 2. That was insane.
Yeah, it was a good lap actually. The last attempt in new tire was actually quite a good one. So I felt confident with the car balance and the setup we have. We are ready for quali.
I mean, from what you know from last year's experience here and what you've learned from free practice 1, free practice 2, what do you need to do to be able to pull out a quali lap like that again now?
Well, it's a long session. We have the Q1 that lasts half an hour already, which is quite big, and then the Q2 where you need to put it at the right time, at the right moment of the session, and to put it all together because the Hyundais are very quick and to big kilo ballast is not going to be an easy task for sure, especially here. A single mistake is already directly a big sentence. So I'm just looking forward now to do some laps in new tire and push flat out, getting close to those walls.
I have no doubt that this is going to be a remarkable qualifying session here in Villarreal. Let's be very clear, in the race, strategy is massively going to come into play. There are 2 joker laps that these boys can play, but for now, what's important is who gets on pole position around the streets of Villarreal. Qualifying, vamos.
Está no pico agora. Mano, eu não ligo para o calor.
There is our 2024 Scandinavian TCR Touring Car Champion. Great to see him back again, making his debut on the world stage. Hasn't really got any street racing experience. Villarreal very much an eye-opener for the 48-year-old. But he's acquitted himself very nicely indeed. Comfortable immediately amongst the unforgiving walls of Villarreal. Carlson so far is the man on the bubble. He won't be making it through into Q2, but this is a quick lap so far. Personal fastest sectors 1 and 2 for Mikael Carlson. There you can see the alternative route that is going to be in use tomorrow. We'll talk about that one a little bit later on, though. Let's have a look at lap times. 11th quickest then. Good time for Carlson. Moves him up into the all-important top 12. Gives himself a reasonably comfortable blanket between himself and the chasing pack. So that's a good time for Carlson. Who else is in pit lane? Mikael Kona, as you can see. Noah Michelis as well, you can see on screen. And then everybody else out on the racetrack. 16 cars in this session. Enzo Gianfratti, as you saw, lighting up the time screen in 13th position. Daniel Teixeira not able to get onto track so far. Another one of our Portuguese group of drivers on home soil here. This is Jenson Brickley. 14th quickest for 2:46 at this moment in time. Maybe not necessarily what Jenson would have been looking for. An 11th and an 8th last time around at Paul Ricard. Didn't have the look, hasn't had the look, to be fair, in 2026. JB, they'll be hoping to change that one. Jan Elshay's making his own look. 4th quickest so far, fastest sector of anyone in the opening sector. Santiago Arrutia enjoyed that one. Does very similar as well. Indeed, the Uruguayan driver, not quite as quick as his teammate though. Sector 2, lightning fast for Elshey. 1.2 seconds faster than anybody's been. Car number 168 on an absolute charge. 4th quickest then for the French driver. What will it be at the line? 1.2 seconds is the advantage. Elshey still very much on a charge. Runs it all the way to the wall on the outside of the racetrack. Lovely stuff here. This is what it looks like to push a Kumho FIA TCR World Tour touring car at the absolute limit through the roundabout. then accelerate to the line for early shave. Remember, 4th position is where the Frenchman is at this moment in time. A little bit more sedate through the game. And why? There you go, the inevitable fastest time of the session so far. Quickest then for Jan Earlshay. Mikhail Kona now in 2nd place. He's on an outlap. He's coming from pit lane. This is Santiago Urrutia. Uruguayan driver was looking quick, wasn't he, when he started the lap? Earlshay just moved those goalposts. Santiago then in 4th position. What will that be when he comes to the line? Good enough for 2nd place. Not a bad time at all for Santiago. Just under a 10th of a second away from his team leader. Mikhail Kona then drops to 3rd. Norbert Michelitz not worried too much at this stage. 4th position in the times, and on the bubble, Stian Paulsen currently in that 12th position. Enzo Gianfratti's had his time and comes down pit lane. So we look at Jenson Brickley. 14th place then for the Englishman. A little bit of an error there. He'll live to fight another day though. 16 minutes, 20 seconds then left on the clock in Q1. We'll have a small intermission between the sessions, and then we'll go again in Q2, where the 12 fastest drivers will battle it out for position. Jan Earlshay from Marchingois, Santiago Urrutia then are your top 3. Mikhail Kona in 4th. And that's what went wrong for Jenson Brickley. Little mistake. Stayed the tyres though, didn't block them up. Cut the chicane, and he'll live to fight another day. Competition then, and Aurelien Comte are the best of the rest. Victor Anderson, by the way, moved up in a 6th position off camera. So again, the Cupra squads are the ones taking it to Geely Sayan Racing, are taking it to the BRC Hyundai and Squadra Corse team. Great performance from the French squad. Absolutely superb. Aurelien there in 5th position. Victor Anderson just dropped down to 7th, having had the last lap time disallowed. This is Jenson Brickley still on his particular charge, having had a bit of an adventure at the chicane for JB. Car number 2460, ALM Motorsports Honda Civic. Wheeled in good order by Jenson Brickley. Mikael Carlsen, as mentioned, is with ALM Motorsports this weekend. It'll be a 2-car team. Good to see Mikael currently holding on to that 11th place. Stian Paulsen is the last man on the bubble so far. Jenson Brickley, as things stand, won't be making it through to Q2 with 14 minutes 50 seconds left on the clock. There is plenty of time for the English driver to do something about that one. First time through, fastest personal, first sector. Same for Jimmy Clary, same as well for Ted Bjork. Bjork matches that one in sector 2, personal fastest. Still not quickest to trouble the overall time scores, but for Bjork, there we go, 8th quickest overall. He does improve his time, but stays 8th on the timing screen. This is Brickley. What can he do? A little bit tardy in the 2nd sector compared to the fastest, but still good for JB. As things stand, 14th quickest for the Englishman. Is this going to be enough to get through into that all-important top 12, Brickley? Very much dancing with the absolute outer limits of the racetrack is the Honda Civic Type R FL5 into the chicane, in the hairpin, the roundabout even. Should I say? JB accelerates to the line. What can he do? Yep, he improves. 9th quickest for the Englishman, 2.4 away from the ultimate pace, crucially. Well inside that top 12, the man on the bubble now is Mikael Carlsen. Stian Paulsen being the first driver that won't make it through unless they find a little bit of lap time. Just like Jimmy Clary found some lap time to move the Team Clary Sport Machine up into 9th place and well inside the top 10. 13 minutes then, 30 seconds left on the clock. There's Santiago Urrutia. There's a relatively calm-looking Geely Sayan Racing squad. They're not too worried, are they? Their Chargers doing an absolutely sensational job. 1, 2 and 3 for the Blue Machines. Ted Bjork currently there in 8th position, although looking at the times, relatively comfortable in terms of making it through to Q2. Let's see if we go again then for another onslaught. Mikhail Kona, currently 4th quickest, is on a charge. Manuel Fernandez, local boy, on a charge as well, 11th place. Not comfortable yet, is he, Fernandez, in terms of making it through into Q2. The Portuguese keeping a watching brief on the time, still pushing in that Van in Motorsports Audi. Doing an absolutely brilliant job, as is Mikhail Kona, doing a grand job of getting well and truly out of the way of faster cars behind. There's Enzo Gianfratti, 419, the Brazilian. We've seen him before, haven't we? in the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour, plies his trade on a regular basis in TCR South America. Bit of a last-minute deal to get on board the SP competition. Cooper flew in just a couple of days ago, hasn't managed a driver's briefing, hasn't really managed any acclimatisation time as Gianprati. He's doing a very stout job indeed. 14th place then so far for the SP competition driver. This one though looks like a very quick lap indeed. First sector 1.2 seconds away from the pace. Not quite where Gianprati needs it to be, but it will be enough to improve if he continues. Monsters the curb though. That's not the fastest way around the racetrack, Enzo. A little bit of ambition overcomes adhesion on that occasion. Gianprati monstering the curves. Is still on it though, isn't he? Here's Enzo Gianprati. Needs to be 11 minutes 40 seconds left on the clock. 14th position so far for car number 419. Let's have a look what that second sector looks like, having monstered the curve. Gianprati then through the chicane, 2.5 seconds away from the pace as Enzo, so that was a mistake. Really did cost the Brazilian driver. The long swooping final section of corners. About at the pace 4.9, so he does have an opportunity to move up. He needs to find if he can stay in and around this kind of time loss between himself and Jan Ullrich at the top of the tree. This might just be enough for Enzo Gianprati to make it in to that top 12. Let's keep our eye on that one. What did he do at the line? Gianprati did improve his time. It wasn't quite enough to move up. Stays in 14th position. Then Carlson on the racetrack, not improving on this lap number. Michelitz, though, does do a personal fastest sector. Let's have a look then. What went wrong for Gianprati? There's the curve that was so very close to the... May even have actually given the barriers a little bit of a kiss on his way past. Rubbing against the Armco ain't the quickest way in which to navigate a street circuit. Gianprati, though, got away with that one relatively unharmed. He stays there, 14th place. Matteo Casalonga is the current slowest of those that have set the time. Then Teixeira won't be taking part in qualification, but he will be starting both races in 16th position on home soil. Lots of work to do then for the Hyundai driver. Lots of work to do for Jan Ullrich. It's all the good kind of work, isn't it, for the Frenchman? Just reconfirming your pace at the head of the pack. 168 is the quickest driver from teammate Marcin Bois. Mars in pit lane. Santiago Urrutia is out on the racetrack. And Jan Ullrich not quite on the pace. And there is Mikael Carlson. And there is the car in the barriers. Number 148, Mikael Carlson, has nosed it into the barrier somewhere around the racetrack. Marshall straight to the scene, make sure that the driver is okay. That's obviously the most important thing. This is what went wrong. He locked up, tried to swap the car, just ran out of real estate, and the most frustrating bump into the barriers is your end result. Mikael Carlson run out of racetrack to gather that one together, and unfortunately what that means is a red flag does wave, but hopefully for Carlson, that is the 148 back up and running again. So it is running slowly on track, but Carlson is back up and running. Well done getting that one restarted. Well done to the marshals, and the front end of that Honda looks in relatively fine order, doesn't it? So hopefully for Carlson, he can have another roll of the dice, because currently he's in that 12th position, isn't he? Mikael Carlson will be the one going through into Q2 if things stay as they are for now. DLM Motorsports need to have a quick check over of that machine. Carlson will be keen to try and take an opportunity should it present itself. You can see a little bit of damage, can't you, as you look at the car on the front right hand side. Nothing much more than cosmetic though there, as use the sausage curbs as well. Make sure the suspension's okay while you're at it. Why not? Says Mikael Carlson. That one doesn't look too bad. Hopefully then we can get this session resumed in quick order, and we can wrap up the final 9 minutes and 23 seconds of Q1 still remaining. Remember, there'll be a short pause, and then we'll go again for Q2, final 15 minutes for the top 12 quickest drivers. Top 12 is topped by Jan Ullrich, Mikael Carlson. The reason the red flag is waving is the man that currently sits on the danger zone, as the song goes, for those that won't make it through to the next part of qualification. Pace to repairs then. from the stewards and marshals here at Villarreal. Of course, they're well used to cars plonking into the barriers. It will not be the first time that barrier is being rearranged. So they're very, very efficient. Beautiful weather, of course, as you would expect in Portugal, as you would expect all across Europe at this time of year, to be fair. And the fans are being treated to a very entertaining day so far, right in the heart of Villarreal. Absolutely beautiful street circuit. We took the cars into town yesterday, had the autograph session, the engagement with the crowds, the public. Absolutely love their motor racing around this part of the world. And to be fair, when a racetrack takes over the town, you probably have to like motor racing, don't you?
In the top three, looking very sharp right now. So let's have a little chat to Ma, who's right at the sharp end. Okay, give us some feedback about what you're learning so far.
Yeah, it's still quite warm outside. Quite tough on the qualify sessions, and I think I can start to learning about the track condition for the moment. But still, I think we need to looking for the Q2, and I need to keep pushing.
From a personal perspective, what part of the circuit or the conditions are you finding most challenging?
At this moment, the tire management is the key point, I think, and of course the balance is still changing a bit through the session, and we need to monitor on that and driving a bit different way. Yeah.
Okay, that's like hopefully your whole position. Well done, Ma.
Interesting then to hear from Martin Hua that tyre management is already an issue in this qualifying session. The temperatures we know are high. The circuit is a high energy track, of course, lots of racing, public roads under normal conditions. So we expect the tyres to take a little bit of a battering in race conditions, but already in qualifying, a bit of tyre management, that'll be one to keep an eye on. 9 minutes, 23 seconds left on the clock. Management's going to be few and far between for these drivers. It's going to be all about getting on there, trying to set that all-important lap time to make your way through to Q2, which will follow straight after this session, which will be restarting very, very soon indeed, actually. Restart on the hour, apparently, so we should be mere moments away then. And going back to green flag conditions again, and we'll get the rest of Q1 over and done with. There we go, right on cue. Everybody gets how you can tell how warm it is just from these pictures, can't you? Absolutely. Absolutely, very difficult conditions for team. Have a quick listen in there as well, see what we can hear. Okay then, the clock has restarted once again. 9 minutes then, left on your clock. Jan O'Shea, Martin Hua, Santiago Arrutia, Mikhail Kodano, Michelis, and Aurelian Comte are the top six. As they stand, Mikael Carlsen is going to be the man that goes through into Q2. Stian Poulsen, Enzo Gianfratti, Matthew Casalonga, maybe have a little bit of something to say about that one in these final 10 minutes. And there is Stian Poulsen. Seems interesting, doesn't it, to see him in a different team than the one he normally races his own car. As we saw him when he came back to Spa-Francorchamps earlier in this year in TCR Europe. Poulsen doing a good job so far. Ted Bjork is the man leading Jan O'Shea and Santiago Arrutia. So he'll be putting a hole in the air for our drivers to follow. Bjork doing a keen job at this moment in time. Stay out of trouble, get everybody through. That's the name of the game. Stay cool, check the front of the car is the name of the game for Nova Michelis, and that looks a bit more unusual than one would expect at this time in a session. Perhaps more steering rack issues at the front of Nova's car. We saw that one in qualifying last time, didn't we? Poor Ricard. Didn't hurt him on that occasion. Still good for the second row of the grid. Novi definitely not in an ideal situation at this moment in time in pit lane. There's ALM Motorsports, Jensen Brickley being sent out. It's good to see Carlsen's cars back as well in pit lane, so they're having a check of that one over. Should Carlsen make it through into Q2, that will be absolutely vital. And look at this one. Ted Bjork's got quite the gap now, hasn't he? Jan O'Shea dropped real back into Santiago Arrutia, and that brings the two SP cars into the conversation as well. So interesting to see if a little bit of tactical driving is happening there. Mikael Carlsen's tactical driving. He's get a hammer on it. Smack it a few times, Make it so it goes away from the wheel and we'll be absolutely fine, boys. That's called motor racing, that is. Put some gaffer tape on there as well for good measure, and then call it job's a good one. ALM Motorsports got a lot of work to do in a short space of time to make sure that car's in fine fettle. I'm sure they will absolutely do that one. Good stuff from them. Mikael Karlsson still holding on to that 12th place, as mentioned. Will be making it through. Ted Bjork, though, has nothing but clear racetrack ahead of him. Does the 111. And Bjork's using this one to good effect. Just making sure there's enough lap time in this session to get him into that top 12, of course, for Ted. 8th place so far is relatively comfortable for the Swedish driver. It has to be said, really. I don't think he's under threat from anybody particularly behind. He's not going to get bumped out of that top 12. But for Bjork, this is a good opportunity to sample the racetrack, understand where the grip is, where the balance is coming in to Q2. That's when it's going to matter. And for Ted Bjork, a 10th down then from the overall pace in Sector 1. Conversely, Jan Erlesche, a 10th and a half and 1.7 tenths of a second up on the overall time in his Sector 1. So Erlesche absolutely on the money at this moment in time. Bjork, with no weight on the car, not able to quite access the speed of his teammates at this moment in time. It is Jan Erlesche looking a little bit untouchable, it has to be said, in this qualifying session. I think I may have mentioned this one at Paul Ricard, certainly in the previous race. Jan Erlesche with his back against the wall is a very dangerous beast indeed. I think we're beginning to see this one, aren't we? Erlesche on the recovery drive then, quickest of all through Sector 2. Bjork still fast, still faster than he's gone personally at this stage, but it isn't enough, is it? Half a second away from teammate Erlesche's current quickest time. Bjork, though, will improve from 8th position, it looks. Coming through there, the final few corners. Car number 111, the machine with the yellow mirrors. Into the roundabout we go for Ted Bjork. 8th quickest overall, a 10th down in Sector 1, almost half a second down in Sector 2. He does improve for 4th quickest. There's Stian Paulsen and Manuel Fernandez in some kind of strife at the side of the racetrack. Let's hope that they decided to park together there rather than that is the reason they're both together. Session stop though, red flag waves as you would expect, with a couple of cars occupying some racetrack, and oh dear, oh no, 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 no. That is a lot of damage on Fernandez's machine. Oh, that's heartbreaking. For Manuel Fernandez, a home circuit as well. What went wrong? Let's have a little look here. There's Stian Paulsen, mistake. Fernandez can't get the car stopped in time. Can't park there, sir. Two of them together. Oh, that is absolutely heartbreaking. Stian Paulsen, the smallest of mistakes, the biggest of consequences. Manuel Fernandez looks like he's got some real heavy damage on the front right of his Audi machine. He did get it moving under his own steam, didn't he? Didn't go very far, though, for Fernandez. And there is the black and red number 13. Unlucky for some. It's unlucky for the Portuguese, isn't it? Stationary in the middle of the road. Stian Paulsen as well. Heart's got to go out to the Norwegian driver. Small mistake. Light contact with the barriers. That is a big, heavy secondary contact between himself and Fernandez. There is evidence then. Car 34, car 13, both stranded on the racetrack. That's why we have a red flag. And rightly so as well, of course. Can't navigate our way through there. Ted Bjork just got over the line in time, didn't he? Bjork quick enough for 4th position. Jan Erlesche was on an absolute flyer as well before those red flags waved. Erlesche, I don't think he'll be too concerned, though. The 168 quickest from Marchinquois, Santiago Arrutia. Ted Bjork making it to hello, Geely Cyan Racing 1, 2, 3, 4. The new Geely Preface TCR. Is it a quick car, I hear you ask? Look at the timesheets and come back to me. There's your answer. An absolute rocket ship, it seems. And there's a sad sight again. Of course, those two cars haven't been moved just yet. We've still got active race cars on the track. There's Stian Paulsen. Good to see he's out of the car. Looks relatively okay. Goes and checks in on Fernandez as well. Good. I like to see that one. Just first and foremost, of course, make sure everybody's well and fit. There is Fernandez.
So, both your boys are running pretty well, but drive shaft again for Norby? What's going on?
Yeah, that's we have to check, but that's happened, so we have to check the reason, because now it start to be, let me say, in a range of really concern, but again, the guy will fix and Q2 will be there, so no problem at all again.
Well, know what your mechanics are like and how well they can work. What information and feedback are you getting from Michael?
Yeah, the car, the balance was better than FP2. Then there is always a threshold in between to be on the track and to have always a certain amount of risk, or to stay and, let me say, trust on the lap time that we have done. We were much on the safer side on this Q1. Let's see, because then not having tested so much in Q1, it will be a problem in Q2. But it's always a balance, and we have experience in our years before that when you are in a track on a street circuit, can happen everything, like we have seen that there were already 2 red flags.
You guys know the deal. All right, fingers crossed the gremlins are ironed out.
Interesting then that Alex Louis finds out another drive shaft issue for Noah Michelis. As mentioned by Gabriele Rizzo, though, that will be fixed for Q2. Nobi has already set a time that is more than comfortable enough to get him through to that Q2 session when we go green flag again, hopefully in short order. We've seen the reason already, of course. 2 cars out on the racetrack. Shouldn't be too difficult to remove those. But what it does mean, of course, is with Stian Paulsen having been the one that caused that red flag. Let's have a look again. There is the green Vanny Motorsports machine. Too much curb, not once but twice. And into the barrier we go. That'll be the removal of a fastest lap for Stian Paulsen. It's not going to bother our top 12 runners. Again, a little bit too much curb on the first and second parts. Manuel Fernandez, absolutely nothing he could do but head straight to the scene of the accident. Real misfortune for both drivers, and unfortunately they'll play no further part, of course, in the final 4 minutes and 46 seconds of qualification. We'll get green flag again. We'll have just about enough time for our superstars to get out there and set another quick lap in, see what we can do. Our trouble in that top 12. Another small break. The top 12 will take part in Q2. Here's our snatch vehicles out on track. Only one at the moment, which is may take a little bit longer than hoped for. Again, big thank you to the marshals here at Villarreal and all around the world, past, present and future, for everything you do. Most important people at a racetrack. Couldn't go racing if it wasn't for the marshals. So big thank you. They're great here and all around the world. Big thank you to you all. Right then. Final few minutes of qualifying. The usual suspects, aren't they? Are up there at the sharp end of the field. I have to say that the Vila Racing
Jensen,
crew.
we had the privilege of watching your entire lap, and you managed to get it up from 13 up to P10. Talk us through what it's like out there.
Yeah, this track is a little bit scary, I think. Yeah, I did the track walk yesterday and I thought, oh, the walls are quite far apart, and then when you start doing 230 kilometres an hour, they seem to move in a little bit. But yeah, I think every session I'm improving. There's a lot of time in me still. The lap was definitely not perfect, which I guess you probably saw. But yeah, I think we're through to Q2, like pretty safe, I would say. And now it's time to turn it up a notch, I think.
Are there any particular bits that you're finding most tricky?
I think it's just a commitment in the high speed. We're struggling a little bit in the chicanes. I think the Honda doesn't suit the big curbs so much. But I think if we can get around that and I grow a pair, then I think we'll be, yeah, we should be fine. I think, like I was saying to you yesterday, it's my first time here, so there's no massive expectations. But we're improving, so that's all that matters.
And what you said was if you could just get it into the top 10, then you'd be really happy.
Yeah, exactly. I think like if we put the ideal lap together from FP2, then we would have been up in the top 7. So I think I'm happy with where I'm at. I just need to put the whole lap together in Q2.
Okay, mega work so far, Jensen. Hopefully that will continue.
Just goes to show, doesn't it, how difficult this racetrack is. Somebody like Jensen Brickley, a reigning champion in TCR Europe, admitting that it just takes a little bit more bravery, a little bit more seat time, just to extract that pace where the driver can genuinely make a difference. When you absolutely know this is an old school driver and fan favourite racetrack, a festival of touring car racing in the heart of the city. A really, really spectacular place. Can be difficult for overtaking sometimes in racing conditions. We do have a little bit of a variable in the Joker lap for our two races tomorrow. I'll talk to you more about that one later on in the show, but not one, but two joker laps will be required to be taken by our drivers, so that'll be a slower lap. Not quite sure of the delta yet, maybe 4 seconds or so slower than a traditional lap, and they have to take it twice during the race. First one taken between laps 3 and 7, second one any time after you've taken the first. Right then, let's have a look at some of the dramas then that we've enjoyed in qualifying. This is an issue for Mikael Carlsson, number 148, ALM Motorsports driver, nose in the car into the tyre barriers. That was the cause of our first red flag intervention.
We've just been watching a replay of what looks like a pretty tricky qualifying session for you out there.
Yeah, of course it's tricky. I haven't been in the car since March, so why do it easy when you can do it hard?
You didn't manage to get a lot of laps in free practice 1 or 2 either, did you? What are you learning so far?
But we'll look at the data and watch the movies and try to improve every time we're on the track, and I think we have managed to do that. But as you see, the brake bias was not there now when we push them a little bit harder, so a small mistake. The other guys, they're driving all the time, so it's a step learning curve. But I'm pleased anyway. So yeah. We have a good out now.
Have a good rest of the session.
Moving every time he gets on the racetrack, and that is absolutely the case as well for Mikael Carlsson. 54 years old, believe it or not, 2024 Scandinavian Touring Car Champion, sometime racer in TCR Europe, and all-around good character. Just likes his motor racing, no messing around. What you see is what you get for Carlsson, and he knows how to pedal a race car. Coming into this one with very little time behind the wheel. We're doing a grand job so far. And session will resume, by the way, at 20 past the hour local time, so not long to go. We'll get this racetrack cleared, and hopefully we can wind up this qualifying in the exciting way that it's beginning to brew up to be, isn't it? It's turning into one of those where I think this might be very, very close and intense towards the end of Q2. It'll follow on shortly from this. 12 cars to decide the grid. And 4 minutes and 46 seconds. Q1 still to go.
Jimmy, here we are. Right, P9, this is not bad at all. Talk us through the session from your perspective.
Yeah, for sure, P9 in Q1, it's not bad. I'm happy because this is for what we can play. So P9, P8, P10. If I succeed to do the same result in Q2, it will be amazing for me. Because the gap with the really first driver is too far. So as I said, sometimes I'm happy with what I did and sometimes not. So it's really tough to make a good lap time, a full lap time.
Yeah. Try and put each of the bits together, right? Now, your dad is working as a mechanic on your car. He has an incredible amount of history, doesn't he? And I'm interested to know what feedback, information he gave you between FP2 and qualifying.
For sure, to push a maximum what I can in the car. We have to feel in the car, especially in a track circuit. You have to feel the grip, and when you succeed to feel the grip, you're in confidence with the car. And sometimes I can feel it, but not every time, every corner. So this is what I'm not so happy, but it's okay, come.
And I guess it's a case, if you make a mistake, you have to recover so quickly because the next corners are coming up, right? You might put 1 or 2 together, it feels good, then you feel good into the third. But if you have to let it go very quickly, I imagine. Yeah,
it's exactly that. If you make a mistake, you can't regain what you lose. You know. So if you try to do it, it's the crash.
Yeah.
So this is why it's so exciting to run in the street corner.
Yeah, right. So when we, Jimmy and I had a chat earlier, and there'll be a video out on social media. You were talking about just how much you wanted to race here and how excited you were. I know it's terrifying. I know it's hugely challenging, but how much are you enjoying it?
I'm so speechless. Sorry. 100% happy to be here and to grateful to all to everybody who can make it happen. So.
Well, fingers crossed. Well done, Jimmy.
And so it will be as well. An absolutely incredible racetrack is Villarreal. Very high speed for a street circuit. But, of course, as always, the ever-impending threat of those barriers just waited to catch out the unwary. And so far, everybody's behaving themselves quite well in this qualification session. We do have a red flag stoppage, though, for a couple of drivers that didn't behave too well. Stephen Paulson, Manuel Fernandez, both drivers will lose their lap times from qualification. They're 11th and 12th quickest so far. Not quite recovering the cars away just yet. Only be a few moments away from green flag racing conditions once again, though, as there is Mikel Azcona and the BRC squad. Good timing for BRC, this one. They can have a look at the drive shaft FU for Norbert Michelis. Get that one resolved before we get loud and Larry again for Q2. Right around the corner, folks. Don't go anywhere. It may have been a little bit of a break. I'm sure we'll be back on the racing action. It'll be well worth the wait. So touring car around this place at full chat is absolutely spectacular sight to behold. Stephen Paulson's car, not quite ready yet. 16:22 local time is now the to be confirmed restart. So not quite ready yet. Still going to get that car away. A little bit of repair work to the barriers as the fans watch on in the baking sunshine of Portugal. Beautiful place, beautiful racetrack, plenty qualification still to go.
All right, tell us, what was that little discussion? What were you guys chatting about there? What did you learn, and what information can you give us from the track?
We're trying to be more competitive. Apparently, we are missing a bit of pace. 40 kilos, it's affecting a lot on the performance, but Ian feels very strong with the 30 kilos. So we're trying to find some more tens for Q2, but it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. I don't feel that I can go for a pole, to be honest.
Okay, but, you know, the race is along, and the Joker comes into play tomorrow. So I guess, you know, potentially we switch to more of the strategic game, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm top 10, I will be very happy. Like you said, to Joker tomorrow on the race, it's going to be a big strategy as a team. So many things will happen for sure. But yeah, I will do also my best to try to be on top 5 in Q2.
Well, I don't doubt that a second. Vamos!
Only a couple more minutes then, and we'll be back underway in qualification. There is the Manuel Fernandez car, pushed behind the barriers. Good stuff. Clean up crew on track then, making sure we have nothing to cause any issues. Might be a bit slippy slidey down there, mightn't it? In the first push lap after qualification, and with the 4 minutes and 46 seconds on the currently stopped session clock. Everyone's going to have to push very, very, very quickly, very, very soon indeed, if they have any aspiration whatsoever of making it through into Q2. A few moments to go then, before we're under green flag conditions. There you can see for yourself, proof positive that it is all good at Villarreal. Great stuff from the marshals. We're back underway again before you know it. And Q1 can draw to its conclusion. And our first competitive undertaking of the weekend will be over. We'll be able to have a little bit of a think, a little bit of a head scratch and a ponder. Who's quick, who's in trouble, before we go motor racing again tomorrow morning. One person definitely not in trouble is Victor Anderson and SP Competition. It's been a really good session, hasn't it? TCR Spain points leader. Absolutely on the money in TCR Europe as well. Definitely a championship contender is Victor Anderson. Same car, different team this weekend. Normally plies his trade with Monlau Motorsport, doesn't he? The Spanish outfit, well, he's gone au français this weekend with SP Competition. And he's very much picking up where he left off. Aureli and Compt as a team made no small task indeed. Victor Aurelian looking to be incredibly evenly matched over Compt in 7th, Anderson in 8th position. Don't expect those times gaps to stay like they are come the end of it. I expect that one will close up very quickly indeed. And there we go. Hooray, hooray. Green flags wave at the end of pit lane. qualifications back underway again. 9 minutes and change on the clock. No, it wasn't 9 minutes and change at all, was it? A lot shorter than that one. I'll have a look when it updates itself. So, Vila Teixeira won't be doing qualification this one, so you're not going to see his car. Fernandez and Paulson were involved in the incident. Mikael Carlsson's machine had a bit of strife earlier. That one's been fixed. Great stuff from ALM Motorsports. Carlsson back on the racetrack. That bit of break did Carlsson the world of good, didn't it? Gives him another opportunity to try and sneak back into the top 12 with Fernandez and Paulson unable to take any further part. This is a big open door for Mikael Carlsson to walk through. Swedish driver will fancy his chances, won't he? Enzo Gianfratti out on the racetrack as well. Mapu Catalonga as well. Lots then of opportunities for our drivers. Big shout out, by the way, to Jean-Carl Vernet. Not here this weekend, unfortunately, still recovering from a training injury. And also to Raphael Fournier, who should have been here with JSP competition. A little bit of an injury as well for the Frenchman. I believe he's here on site, he's just not in a car. So Raphael Fournier, Julien Brichet should have been on the field this weekend, but couldn't make it. Get well soon to you both guys as well. So, there are 16 cars in the field though, despite the 3 that we are missing. Marcinkoir being one of them. Marcinkoir still being in pit lane. I see that you've noticed, and so he should be. Second quickest for the Chinese driver so far. Very, very comfortable. Shouldn't have a problem making it through to Q2, I don't think. Ted Bjork, we saw him. Set a fast lap right at the very depth before that red flag, didn't he? He's 4th position. Is the Swedish driver Bjork. Doing a good job in quali as well. Making the 1, 2, 3, 4 for Geely Cyan Racing. The head of the timesheets so far, Mikuláš Kona, Norbert Michelitz, 5, 6, Aurélien Comte, Victor Anderson, 2 by 2 they go. The 2 SP competition Cupras, 7th and 8th position. And then it is Jimmy Claret, Jensen Brickley in a couple of Hondas, 9th and 10th. And then the aforementioned Fernandez and Paulson, who are in strife in Q1. They're 11th and 12th on the timing screens, if not on the racetrack. Mikael Carlsson, though, does not like 13th position. Not attractive for the Honda driver. He's going to fancy a top 12, isn't he? And this is his opportunity to do exactly that one. Building confidence in the car. Didn't get the time in pre-practice 1 or free practice 2 behind the wheel that Mikael Carlsson would have been looking for. Now he's going to use all of his experience, all of his raw speed to try and wring the neck of that ALM Motorsports Honda Civic Type R FL5. What can he do? 13th place then for Carlsson. First timing screen will be coming up in a few moments' time. This will be the first opportunity to test yourself against the stopwatch. Carlsson does a good job. Personal fastest. Sector 1, 1.1 seconds away from Jan Erleschee. That's not where the battle is, though, for Mikael Carlsson. The battle is to get inside that top 12. Every time behind the wheel, the Swedish driver goes that little bit faster, he says. He needs to. Enzo Gianfratti on a charge as well behind. So Gianfratti fancies his bid for the top 12 as well. Mikael Carlsson might go quicker than it stands at this moment in time. But will it be quick enough for that top 12? We're staying then with the Swedish driver. There is Mikuláš Kona. He's done enough in qualified in 5th position. But let's have a look at Carlsson. Here we go then, to one of the fastest parts of the racetrack. Full commitment then, 2.2 seconds away at the line at the last time of asking. Still the quickest personal, fastest sector time. Still trending for that top 12 is Mikael Carlsson then. Through the right-hander, use the full width of the racetrack. Hard on the brakes goes Carlsson, tips the car in. Looks positive on the front end, does the 148. Not quite able to get it all the way to the barriers. Then Carlsson still holding a little bit of something in reserve. The question is he going to be quick enough? Into the roundabout we go. Lock the inside wheel, a little bit scruffy. Middle of the corner, looking good though. And Mikael Carlsson to the line. Will he improve? Yes, he does. Gets inside that top 12. That's job done for Mikael Carlsson. But keep your eye on Enzo Gianfratti. He's going quicker behind as the Brazilian driver. Gianfratti then down in 14th position. Dearly would like that top 12. Gianfratti takes it away. Great stuff for the Brazilian driver. A 10th of a second quicker. He moves up in a 12th place. Carlsson down into 13th. Paulson into 14th position as well. Fernandez just holding on to the top 12 for now. 11th place despite the Portuguese driver not being out on the racetrack. Absolutely sensational stuff for Fernandez. Here is Jimmy Claret coming through the final section of corners as well. 9th position for the Claret Sport Machine. Can Jimmy do anything about improving his time? He'll be happy to make it through into the top 10. We'll car number 121. So far it's looking like job is done. Jensen Brickley in 10th position. In fact, Claret bails out of that one, as does Brickley. Mikael Carlsen still pushing. Not quick enough though. 1.7, nearly 1.8 seconds away in sector 1. Unfortunately for Mikael Carlsen, his day is done. He's not going to make it through to that top 12. It is going to be Enzo Gianfrate. We thought he'd done enough for Carlsen right at the very end. But Enzo Gianfrate, in his final roll of the dice, had the pace for that top 12. Marcin Qua, by the way, has the pace. Whoa, 2 wheels on your wagon. Up on 2 wheels goes Marcin Qua, really pushing to try and take away the fastest time from Jan Erlichey. He's made it through, of course, in the Q2, taking a lot of risks. Is Ma to the barriers on the outside. Hard push now, accelerated all the way downhill. Can Marcin Qua take away the quickest time? Into the roundabout we go. There is the Joker lap to the left-hand side. Accelerate away from the line. Mark crosses the line. Doesn't improve his time. Stays in 2nd position. Jan Erlichey then is the quickest driver in Q1 from Santiago Urrutia and Ted Bjork. Bjork's still on the racetrack, but he won't complete his lap time, I don't think. Miklat Kona, Noah Michelis, but crucially, crucial, Enzo Gianfrate gets that 12th position, makes it through in the Q2. Mikael Carlsen, Stian Poulsen, Matthew Casalonga and Daniel Teixeira are the drivers that will play no further part in this qualification session. Sensational stuff then at Villarreal. Q1 over and done with. Couple of interruptions for the red flags. To be expected though, isn't it, on a street circuit this time. Marcin Qua absolutely had everything, didn't he, at the end of Q1. Not quite able to string it together though, was car number 155 at the end. Was that by design? Or was that just Jan so much quicker in the final sector of the lap? I do not know the answer to that one, folks. But what I do know is Marcin Qua looks rather quick indeed, isn't he? No weight on the 155. He's going to fancy his chances in qualifying. Jan Erlichey carrying 30 kilos. Santiago Urrutia carrying 10. It's all about Ted. All about Mar at this moment in time, isn't it? There is Ted Bjork, by the way. 4th quickest in the end. That quick lap just before the red flag was enough for the 111. That'll be a satisfying result for Ted Bjork. He'll be happy with that one, won't he? Job done. Through into Q2. Still looks competitive. Absolutely game on for the second part of this qualification session. As mentioned, 12 cars will make it through. It'll be but a 15-minute session, and that'll decide the grid, not just for race 1, but also the reverse top 10 for race number 2 as well tomorrow afternoon. So a lot to play on for these drivers. A lot of opportunities for things to go well. A lot of opportunity for them to go very, very wrong indeed. There is the man that stole that 12th place then right at the very death. A few smiles there at SP competition. So there should be. Great lap from Enzo Gianfrate when the pressure was at its absolute greatest. He delivered when he needed to. Great stuff between himself and Mikael Carlsen. Racing on the stopwatch rather than side by side. But just as fascinating. In fact, there is Mikael Carlsen. Same for him. It was an absolutely sterling job, wasn't it? From the Swedish driver. Only good enough for 13th at the end. But I think he'll be satisfied with that one. So little time behind the wheel. So little time in the last 3 years, to be fair, behind the wheel of a TCR car for Carlsen. Kept it clean. Brought it home. And you can do some good work from 13th in both races. It's not over yet for Mikael. Swedish driver. Definitely has an opportunity to climb up the field from there.
Oh dear. Right, I saw Stan just come in. I imagine he's a pretty unhappy bunny. What's he said? What information do you have for us?
I just took too much curb on the inside, and he just fired him too far, and he's just obviously couldn't stop and hit the barrier, and then obviously Manuel's followed him in, which is to have both of our cars hit each other in the same corners. A nightmare.
That is a notoriously historically we've seen an awful lot of accidents in that section as well. Where's Manel? How is he doing?
I haven't seen him yet, actually. He's back. I haven't seen Manel yet. He's all right. I think that his car's a lot better off than we think.
Yeah.
My car's not too bad. It's just one of those freak accidents which is just the worst timing possible.
You have very good mechanics. Functioning for tomorrow?
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's just, I think my car's front bumper, headlight, wings, not too bad. It wasn't a heavy hit.
Yeah, okay.
And I think Manuel's just put on the bottom arm. And it's not bad. Hopefully not bad. We say this, but it should be fine.
Oh, man. Gutted for you.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah.
Sounds a little bit like tempting fate from Luke Sargent, that one, doesn't it? Saying the car's not too bad. Of course, Luke Sargent campaigns that car on a regular basis. It's Stian Paulson behind the wheel this weekend, hence the confusion by saying my car. It is, of course, Stian competing in the Vanning Motorsports Audi. This weekend, Manuel Fernandez racing his machine, unfortunately. Hopefully, Luke Sargent's ever optimism will be correctly well placed, and both of those cars can be fixed and ready to rock and roll again for race number 1, which will be, of course, round number 8 of the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour, which will take place 11:40 local time, 10:40 UTC tomorrow, right here and across the globe on various different channels. So don't miss that one. Not least of which to see if Vanning Motorsports can get both cars back up and running, but more importantly to see what happens at the end of this Q qualifying session, because Q2's right around the corner. We haven't set the grids yet, and already we're getting excited about the races. Got a bit of an air of excitement over this weekend. I'm looking forward to these. But Q2, though, right around the corner. There's the man of the moment, Enzo Gianfretti. He'll be delighted, won't he, with making through to that Q2. And it's a few seconds away. Right on cue. There we go. Q2 underway. 15 minutes then in this session. To remind you all once again, the top 12 fastest drivers from Q1 have their opportunity to go on the racetrack. Get loud and loud. Set the grid for race number 1, which will take place tomorrow morning. Reverse the top 10 for race number 2. 10 on down, of course, will stay as they are for both races. So 11th place, on down, will start that position for both races. Okay, 12 cars on the grid, 15 minutes on the clock. We should have a little bit more real estate to play with if you're a driver in this part of qualifying. So hopefully traffic won't be quite as worrying on this occasion. Jensen Brickley, he was happy, wasn't he? Happy chappy to have made it through into Q2. Would dearly love to be in that top 10. He's got a couple of Cupras, though. SP Competition seem to be the favoured choice for team and drivers that are hanging around behind the BRC and the Gina squad. They're going to be hard to overcome, aren't they? Victor Anderson, Pirelli and Compt. Both of those might possibly fancy their chances. Ted Bjork, by the way, still in pit lane, as is Manuel Fernandez. Fernandez, we expect that one, of course, carrying damage. It's going to be very unrealistic to get that car back out in qualifying, but quite why Ted is elected not to join the rest of the armada of cars on the track. I do not know the answer to that one. Hopefully, it's a strategic thing. It's not an issue on board 111. But Ted Bjork and Manuel Fernandez are the only two cars then that didn't come out at the green flag for the start of this session. And there is Ted Bjork. Team don't look too worried about it, do they? Casual quick check of the watch. Obviously they're waiting for the right amount of real estate, the correct window in which to insert themselves into this qualifying session. Put some pressure on the shoulders of Ted Bjork, though, doesn't it? Doesn't have time for the quote-unquote banker lap that we so much like in qualifying. A lap at 98% just to get yourself on the grid. No such luxuries if you're going to be going out of sync with everybody else. And it's all about laying it down on the line. Lots of traffic then out there on the racetrack at this moment in time. Jimmy Claret has no such concerns. There is the Claret Sport Audi. Beautiful livery. I love that car. Looks so menacing, doesn't it? And he's going to be the first one then to attack the times here in Q2 at Villarreal, ahead of round 8 of the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour. We've hit the halfway mark of the season, boys and girls. Can you believe it has gone like absolute lightning? It's going to be another classic year. Who's going to get the pole position, though? That's the big question. It is up for grabs from these World Tour drivers. Pole position this year. 2 have gone the way of Mikolas Koda, 1 for Jan Erleschee. Will we have a new pole sitter in Villarreal? Or will it be one of our usual stars? Jim McClary is the fastest driver so far, as is to be expected. First one to set a representative time. Jenson Brickley chasing him down in the 2.46. Brickley very, very quick in sector 1. Very quick indeed, in fact, for the British driver. A good couple of tenths of a second ahead of Clary. Both of these on their first roll of the dice. There is JB in the 2.46. Noah Michelis, by the way, showing everybody how you win a double championship by going even faster. Again, Norby, the Hungarian driver, on a charge as well. No times on the board yet, of course, in qualifying. These are the very, very early rounds of this Q2 session. There's car 105. There is Noah Michelis. He'd dearly love his first pole position of the year, wouldn't he? Mikel Azcona using the slipstream, flashing the headlights in the background as well. The Spanish driver, a little bit off-putting. That is going to be for Norby, I'm sure. Mikel says, I'm going quicker. I've got the slipstream. Get out of my way. And then Norby makes the mistake, and Julie gets well and truly out of the way. That's nicely choreographed. I'll be generous and say it's choreographed, and it wasn't a mistake from Norby. But the end result is Mikel Azcona now is free and easy. Opportunity then to set the first real, serious fast lap of the day for Mikel Azcona, becoming a bit of an expert at his qualifying malarkey, isn't Mikel? I've got 2 pole positions already in 2026. Jan Earlshey being the only other driver to have started the race at the front of the field in race 1. There is the quickest time then for Mikel, 1:59.711. Very quick indeed. Jan Earlshey goes second quickest with a 59.9. 59.4 for Santiago Urrutia. Take a bow, young man. That's a lap time and 3/4, isn't it, for Santiago Urrutia? Quickest of the day. Absolutely sensational stuff. Noah Michelis bails into pit lane as well. He didn't fancy continuing for another lap on those tyres following the mistake at the chicane. So Michelis in pit lane. Ted Bjork on an out lap. There is the evidence for Norby. Fresh to the boots on the wagon, and he'll be able to go back out. Plenty of time left on the clock. Just under 10 minutes left in this qualifying session. But Santiago Urrutia, absolute lightning pace for the Uruguayan driver. Brilliant stuff there for Santiago. Broke the lap record from 2019. Is Santi, car number 181. The change of number seems to be working quite nicely for Santiago Urrutia, doesn't it? Go on to the new number for a bit of good luck. Well, that one seems to be panning out quite nicely indeed. Jan Earlshey is currently 4th quickest, half a second away from the pace. Is the number 168. There is Jan on your screen. Either winding up or winding down. I think perhaps probably on his way back to pit lane, and oh no, that's a Norby. That's a Norby Michelis, and that's another drive shaft looking kind of problem, isn't it? That'll not be the first time or the second time, possibly not even the third time we've seen that one in recent days. What is going wrong with car number 105? Why do they keep breaking things underneath? Noah Michelis hasn't got a time on the books, ladies and gents. Let's remember that one as well. Norby didn't set representative lap time. Fernandez won't do, of course, so you're guaranteed to be 11th at worst. And Noah Michelis, if he's not in the top 10, he'll be starting outside of the top 10 in both races tomorrow. On a street circuit where passing is difficult, this is massive. This is huge for our former double champion. Noah Michelis will be, and the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corse team, absolutely desperate then to get that car fixed up and running as soon as humanly possible. There's Ted Bjork running out of sync with the rest of the field. So Ted, remember, held in pit lane by the Geely Scion Racing squad, while everybody else was out there setting their lap. What that does mean is the 111 has a nice and clean racetrack, doesn't it, in front of him? But often when you're out of sync, it's for a reason. There's Mikel Azcona and Jenson Brickley back in pit lane. Don't worry, it's not a Norby drama. That is Mikel. Let's cycle back though to Ted Bjork. Sector 1. Half a second away from the pace. Not what Bjork was looking for. Not a great opening sector then for the big Swede. Will he be able to do anything through sector 2? It's certainly not for one to try in, is it? Body language of that Geely Scion Racing car says, man going quickly, get out of my way. With Ted Bjork, not quite quick enough at this moment in time. Coming up then to break the second time in barrier for sector 2. What can Bjork do? Remember, no time on the board just yet. It will be personal fastest. The question is though, how fast will it be comfortably. And he's to be inside the top 10 for Ted Bjork. A little bit of pressure removed off his shoulders with Fernandez taking no further part in qualifying. There's only really one car you need to beat. When you're in a Geely Scion racing car, that shouldn't be too difficult. 1.4 seconds then in sector 2 for Bjork. Not quick, but it's easily quick enough to get himself inside that top 10. We'll stay with the 111. Look how far away he is from the barriers. Absolutely nothing being risked whatsoever on this lap. As I say, it is purely a functional lap just to get it on the boards to make sure that you secure your place in Q2. Through the roundabout we go. Timing line is broken, and there we go, 9th quickest for Bjork. 3.6 away from the pace, but crucially, he's got just under a second between himself and Enzo Gianprate, who currently sits on the bubble at that 10th position. Calm before the storm then, down on pit lane. Temperatures still rising here in Portugal. Between the houses, of course, the heat sort of sticks around, doesn't it? The humidity becomes quite overfacing. Very difficult conditions then for the Kumho FIA TCR World Tour field. Continues to rise in terms of temperature, continues to rise in terms of pressure on track. Jimmy Claret then has his opportunity to dance for the cameras. Here is car number 121. Right on cue, outlap out of pit lane. You've got to get your skates on in these things, try and generate some heat in the tyres. There's Enzo Gianprate in that 10th position on the bubble then. The reverse grid pole position, but Jimmy Claret, we're having a look at this moment in time. Currently 6th quickest. Remember Teddy, his brother? He won the last time the Kumho World Tour was on track at Paul Ricard. No pressure, Jimmy. Got a lot to live up to there, sunshine. Jimmy, though, doing a good job so far there. Santiago Arruti did a great job in qualifying. Still looking very, very comfortable as the fastest driver in the field. Santiago can get this one over the line. It will be a very nice job. Pole position in Valencia 2025 was the last time Santiago Arruti clocked off at the end of qualifying as the quickest driver. Right then, lap time started for Jimmy Claret. Let's have a look then what the Frenchman can do. Almost swapping rear to front in that Audi. Great bit of driving there. Very, very loose. Here's the 121 at this moment in time. 6th quickest for Jimmy Claret. There is Nova Michelis with some tyres putting back on it. So that one bodes well, doesn't it, for Nova? Yep, universal sign for firing up. And away we go. Whatever dramas befell the 105 seemed to be a thing of the past. So Nova Michelis now has all the pressure on his shoulders. He's going to have time for one lap and one lap only. 11th quickest then for the Hungarian driver. Checking back in with Claret, 5.5 tenths down in sector 1. That's not going to bother the timekeepers in terms of personal fastest laps. But it's still looking reasonably strong then for the Frenchman. A little bit squirrely into the chicane. Look at the positive. Look at the front end on that Audi. Absolutely turning on a pin. For car number 121, Jimmy Claret heads down through the fastest section of the racetrack. All looking good so far. Remember, 5.5 tenths down in sector 1. What will sector 2 offer the stopwatch? We'll find out. Jimmy wants it to be a small number. He's going to improve anything on what's already an exceptional 6th position. Aurelien Comte, by the way, goes quicker from 5th place. Aurelien Comte on a charge into the chicane. Mind your P's and Q's. Lovely stuff there from the Frenchman. 1.8 down is Jimmy. This is not going to be an improvement unless he monsters this final sector. Jimmy Claret is not going to improve on this lap. Still has more time in the bank. Question is, does he have more grip in those Kumho extra slick tyres? I don't think he's going to do. Second push lap is a big ask on these boots. Through the roundabout we go. Accelerate to the line, 1.8. Last time around, 2.6. Does not improve. Poor final sector for Jimmy Claret. Backs out of it immediately as well. Doesn't look like he's going for a 2 from 2. Aurelien Comte, those on a charge. Fast in sector 1, fast in sector 2. There's the 107. Watch out for the curves, a little bit squirrely. Had to catch the car on the lop stops, did Aurelien. I don't think he's going to lose too much though. This one's going to be a nice improvement. 1.4 seconds away from time is where Aurelien Comte currently sits. So he's got another 7/10 of a second bleed through this final sector. And he'll still improve his time. Can he do anything about Jan Oleshe? That's going to be a big ask for Aurelien Comte. The fight really is between himself and teammate Victor Anderson. in the SP competition. That's a good lap. That's a tasty lap for Aurelian Comte. 1 second away from the pace. Good enough for 5th position. Keeps him ahead of Jimmy Clary. Keeps him ahead, crucially, Jenson Brickley and Victor Anderson as well. That is another very professional performance from Aurelian Comte. Give the man a Cupra, ask him how fast the Cupra can go. Aurelian Comte will show you exactly that. Good first sector for Enzo Gianfratti. Unfortunately, the Brazilian, though, found a world of traffic on that occasion, being a very slow-moving Jan Erlichey. Gianfratti heavily bowled. I don't think the stewards don't like that one. They want to have another look at that one, potentially. Enzo Gianfratti, his lap has been well and truly murdered on this occasion, stays in 10th position, but is vulnerable to Norbert Michelitz. There is the Hyundai driver. Nervy times, isn't it? In the garage of car number 105, Norbert Michelitz will be absolutely on the ragged edge. He wants to be fast. He wants to secure a good position. But as things stand, he's looking at double 11th place. So you need to have an air of caution as well for Norby. There is Jan Erlichey, 4th position so far. That'll never do for our reigning champion. Erlichey will fancy the 3 cars ahead. The only way to do that one is to go light line in first sector for Michelitz. 6/10 away from the pace, not a great one for the Hungarian, solid enough. But it's not going to trouble teammate Mikel Azcona at the head of the field. Speaking of Mikel Azcona, he's on his own charge lap. What will the Spanish driver be able to do? Jan Erlichey just ahead of him. Azcona, Erlichey, fastest sector overall. Azcona, personal, fastest sector 1. Both drivers then on an absolute charge. Michelitz's fight seems to be well and truly over and done with 2.2 in sector 2. So whatever problems have befallen the 105, it is starting to show on the stopwatch. Norby not having a great day of it whatsoever. Jan Erlichey, those celebrations already for Geely Cyan Racing. Big question is, they know they're going to be quickest, but who will be the quickest of their drivers? Erlichey lightning fast in sector 1. Santiago Urrutia is currently the point man for the Blue Machines. There's the 168 just behind Mikel Azcona, looking to improve as well. Azcona will be watching his pole position chances slip away for the car ahead. Michelitz does improve into 9th position. That is Jan Erlichey. Erlichey, contact with the barriers, launched the car, too aggressive for Jan Erlichey. He got away with that one just about. Will it change the time though? There's the damage on the front and the side of the Geely Cyan Racing machine. Mikel Azcona kept his foot in as well, unafraid about the rearrangement of the corner layout in front. Through then into the roundabout we go. Erlichey, barrier contact alongside. Does he improve? Yes, he does. He goes quickest. Mikel Azcona sees that one and raises it though. Goes quicker again. Azcona then, quickest driver of all. Over the line goes Santiago Urrutia. Good enough for 3rd position. Fantastic stuff from him. Marcin Kwar still on the racetrack. Aurelian Comte and Jimmy Clary are in pit lane. They're going to stay 5th and 6th positions at best. But for Geely Cyan Racing, what a end to the qualifying session. Did they have enough? Not quite. That small mistake for Jan Erlichey was the difference for Mikel Azcona to take that pole position. Race number 2, reverse grid pole position. Looks like it's going the way of Ted Bjork. Marcin Kwar, right at the death, goes 3rd quickest, just improving ahead of Santiago Urrutia. Absolutely pinpoint precise for Geely Cyan Racing. 2nd, 3rd and 4th in race number 1. Reverse grid pole position for race number 2. Absolutely sensational stuff. Incredible lap for Mikel Azcona, and the Spaniard gets his 3rd pole position of 2026, becoming a bit of an expert now at this one, and I do believe that may well even promote him as a new championship leader with the points paid out from qualification. Not going to be doing those maths live on air, but hopefully we'll get confirmation on our screen before we say goodbye to you for the afternoon. What a qualifying then. It's important here at Villarreal to be at the sharp end of the grid. I think our drivers have proven just how important that is by an absolute never-say-die performance. Mikel Azcona, quickest driver of all. Jan Erlichey gave it everything they've got, left nothing on the racetrack apart from bodywork through the chicane. And that small mistake, that small error, will be just enough to deny the Frenchman his own pole position shot. Mikel Azcona then, and he take another race victory. Will the misfortune continue for the Spanish driver? That's all in the future. The only thing we know for now is the quickest man around the streets of Vila Real. Fantastic performance then from the entirety of our field. There's confirmation once again of the times at the end of Q2. Mikel Azcona from Jan Erlichey, Marcin War, Santiago Urrutia, your top four, 0.3 per second covering top four drivers. Aurelian Comte, fifth, just ahead of Victor Anderson and Jimmy Clary, Jensen Brickley, Norbert Michelis. He was a lucky boy, wasn't he? Right at the very death. Ninth position, just ahead of Ted Bjork. Then he'll be on the reverse grid pole. Norby alongside through race number 2. Just what the doctor ordered. That'll be absolutely fascinating. But the big question is BRC Hyundai and Squadra Corse. Whatever issues at the front end of that car have cropped up again for Norby. They'll be hoping to get that one under control before too long. Mikel Azcona will be hoping to get changed, have a shower, have a refreshing beverage and celebrate an absolutely sensational pole position. Really impressive performance from the Spanish driver, showing a clean set of heels to the whole World Tour field. And when the racing gets difficult, the track becomes a real driver's circuit. That's when the superstars step up to the plate. And step up Mikel for a 1 minute 59.125, smashing the qualifying lap record previously held on this circuit. Taking the quickest time of the day from Jan Erlichey, Marcin War and Santiago Urrutia. Aurelian Comte, Victor Anderson, Jimmy Clary, Jensen Brickley, Norbert Michelis and Ted Bjork are the top 10 qualifiers in Q2. 11 cars made it through into the session, Enzo Gianprate being the 11th. Manuel Fernandez could play no further part, having been one of the reasons we had a red flag intervention at the end of Q1 preceding this session. A muted celebration then down the BRC Hyundai and Squadra Corse team. Light applause, sweaty, sweaty, sweaty hugs. You can tell everybody's slightly reluctant, aren't they, to get too close. And the reason why? They know it's only half of the job. But it's not even half of the job. Big work comes tomorrow. But Mikel Azcona, celebrate, my friend, you deserve it. What a performance. Look how sweaty he is, look how warm it is there. Hard work behind the wheel of a TCR touring car. Even harder in plus 30 degrees on the streets of Villarreal. Mikel Azcona, though, made it look easy, didn't he? Big smile. They enjoyed that one, didn't they? So we should do as well. Great performance then from Mikel Azcona. Absolutely untouchable here in qualification. And that bodes, that's a scary signal of intent, isn't it? For the rest of the World Tour field. They've got a lot of work to do to keep up with Mikel Azcona. Qualifying, though, being one thing. Racing, an entirely different prospect altogether. And there we go, there's Alex. And Marcello Lotti as well. Marcello's shirt's far too clean for sweaty hugs.
1:59. 1:25. Bravo. 4:10 better than the last year.
Yeah. Very good.
So, this is for you.
Grazie mille. Grazie mille.
To you.
Vamos, indeed, excellent then. Another pole position trophy for Mikel Azcona. Well, he's collecting those, isn't he? Got quite a few, as Mikel now, and third one this year, of course, second in a row for Azcona, having took pole position at Paul Ricard as well. We saw Alex waiting in the background there to have a quick word with our winner. So, I think, plenty of cameras pointing at him anyway. I think he's ready. Let's have a word with our pole position.
His third pole of the season, his second consecutive pole, and what a lap that was, Mikel, and strategy paid out very nicely. You took that toe from Jan. Earlier you said you just couldn't find that extra bit of pace. Well, you certainly found it just then.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say it was a brilliant qualifying, especially Q2. In Q1, we didn't have the pace to fight for the pole, to be honest, I told you. We did a couple of changes on the setup. It went better, but we also had to go for a slipstream. Norby was with an issue, so I couldn't go with behind him. And we decided to follow Ian. Ian was the fastest man of the track. And then, yeah, I did all in. I put everything on the table. And I think all 4 rims are destroyed, the mirrors are destroyed, everything. I smashed the wall almost in every corner, but I had to do it. So this lap, to be honest, was also very well executed because of the slipstream. Thanks to be on the draft of Ian, I got 3/10 on the first and second sector, and also on the last sector I also got 1.5. So it was perfect executed thanks to the team, and this is brilliant with 40 kilos to the pole position in a challenging track. And but if you executed properly the strategy, you can do these things. So very happy.
Yeah, you absolutely smashed the lap record here, and also you are now the new championship leader by 3 points.
This feels good. It feels good. Long time ago, I was not leading. Well, after Misano, yeah. But I mean, still a long way to go. Now 2 races in front, 2 Joker tomorrow. So that's nothing, to be honest. It's a lot because you start on the first row.
Still sounds good though.
Yeah, I mean, it helps you a lot. I have to enjoy tonight, but tomorrow is another day, so we have to also think on a strategy and keep going on this line.
Enjoy.
And I'm absolutely certain Mikel Azcona will enjoy that one indeed. Not too much though, of course, because there's the small matter of not 1 but 2 motor races for us to enjoy tomorrow. And that starts relatively early, 11:40 local time, 10:40 UTC. So make sure you put a note in your diary for that one. Qualifying's one thing, racing is an entirely different kettle of fish altogether. And one thing's for sure, Villarreal is always dramatic. Confirmation then once again of the qualifier result. At the end of that session, Mikel Azcona from Jan Elishay Marching-Noir, Santiago Arrutia, Aurelien Comte and Victor Anderson are your top 6. Jimmy Clary, Jensen Brickley, Norbert Michelitz and Ted Bjork round out the top 10. Bjork and Michelitz will be row number 1 for race number 2 tomorrow afternoon. That one is set fair to be fascinating. Enzo Gianfratti was the last of the drivers to set a time. Manuel Fernandez didn't get a time in the books, courtesy of the Vannin Motorsports car parking dramas down at the chicane between himself and Stian Poulsen. Well. Fascinating, yes. Excited, absolutely. Frantic for sure. Qualifying highlights then on your screen. We're back in action, as said, 11:40 local time, 10:40 UTC tomorrow for race number 1. Don't miss it. See you then. Bye-bye.